you have achieved what some people are striving every day to achieve.
Yeah.
And you also realize that that's not the goal.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's
thank you for the
important. It's important. I respect you so much because of that, because you understand it's about the collaboration. It's about the vision. It's about the femininity. It's about the providership. It's about the ecosystem. You understand. And I believe that's also why we're pulled together.
Welcome back to Let's Get Weird with me, your host, Sam Altieri. On today's episode, we have a special guest, Elizabeth Ashley. She is the founder of Venus Legacy, a leader for visionary artists and entrepreneurs, a minister, and a consultant for leaders. She is the host of the Normalizing Taboo podcast and is based in Denver, Colorado. We recently met, and I knew that I had to have her onto the podcast to talk about so many things, including breaking out of industry norms, making God your sugar daddy and your husband, and what happens when you submit to God, and building your lifelong legacy. So I highly encourage you to put on some headphones, get outside for a walk, and listen to this conversation. Or if you're feeling a day in, pour yourself a cup of coffee and cozy up and listen to this very juicy conversation. Let's dive in. I know a lot of listeners of my show, and I'm sure for you too, feel called to just be a person and be, whether it's a household name or a singer-songwriter. I have a lot of like performers and singer-songwriters and speakers, podcasters in my community who know or who have had a really hard time maybe even like building businesses because they're trying to build something when it's actually always been them. You know?
I'm so down to talk about that. Because I think that's a huge, I would say my community is the same thing in certain ways. It's like they have these big visions. They know that they're here to either like support movements or be the forefront of a movement. And it's not like the movement that's just been like thrown all over the place. It's like there's actually like a pulse and a fire in their soul.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they've been like trying to copy or paste or mimic what other people are doing, not even intentionally, but just thinking that's the ticket versus just like, who are you?
But that's like also how we are conditioned, is like to follow the rules and like, like I talked about this on TikTok. Like we should talk about TikTok in a second here, but like trailblazers forge, they don't follow. And there is no blueprint for what we're building. Like you're going to build something, I'm going to build something that's going to be different. What we've already built is something that nobody's built. And I think our natural tendency is to like look outside of ourselves for the answer and for the like secret sauce and like the ABC formula, but they're literally, it's so annoying because it doesn't exist. But then it forces us to get creative and innovative, and like that's what makes us innovators and visionaries, because like we have to create something that hasn't existed yet.
Yes. I think we can totally talk about that, because even with my brand, like that's why I work with God and holy and like erotic energy, because I'm like, erotic energy is never ending creation, and it's your own vitality. It's your own source of that. And then when you're following the instructions of what God is like architecting through you, it's like, it's not going to look like anybody else.
Right. Wait, can we like back up? Can you just like share your philosophy on God? Because I feel like you're the only person I've ever heard say it in the way that you did. And it made my brain kind of hurt in like a good way of like, wait, what? And then I'm like, oh, wait, I love this. I'm like, can you elaborate?
Yes.
I want to hear the full description.
Oh, God. I mean, I think for me, from what I perceive around the relationship with God and with Christ being in a woman's body and the anatomy of our feminine design that we've been given, is we are able to actually be women. When we allow ourselves to be surrendered into God being a masculine presence, because I don't see God as the feminine, and I don't see God as the universe. I see God, and this is a huge element of my brand, as the eternal masculine, because therefore, if I am in union with Christ and I am the closest thing to God on earth that can conceive and birth children that go on to create the entire world we live in, and I'm in divine partnership with his kingdom and his legacy as the feminine influence of that empire that's being created, of the kingdom of heaven on earth, It's like, what is possible that can create through me?
Mm.
And how surrendered and submissive and trusting can I be in following his leadership and what he's speaking through me without like, I mean, there's that polarity dynamic I feel where it's like, I don't feel like I have to be fully in control. So I get to actually like be more soft, but I also get to be fully creative and fully fertile in that creativity because he's got my back.
Yeah.
Right. He's helping me like quantum leap into nonsensical timelines of manifestation and materialization through like whatever he's asking me to do that doesn't make sense, but I trust in his leadership. I'm obedient to him.
Yeah.
And it's kinky.
Yeah.
It's kinky to be obedient to that in a world of rebellious femininity.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's we don't want to think that the masculine is there in support of us, but it's like, wait a minute, if he's the eternal masculine and I allow myself to find the kink in following his leadership and it like pans out better than I could have planned myself.
Yeah.
I mean, then I just get to be this supernova being on earth, you know, and like make magical shit and mystical shit happen all the time.
I love this.
So yeah, I have like a really wild perspective with like God. Like when I got baptized, I wasn't like, oh, God is just my savior and my Lord and my father. I felt like I was saying I do and marrying Christ.
Yeah. That is like, yeah. So I'm so glad you just shared that. I feel like I've never considered the like marriage of Christ thing, and I don't think I'm there. But where I am there is since I was a kid. I mean, I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
And I don't follow Catholicism now. But ever since going kind of on my personal growth journey and refinding trust in life.
Yeah.
I feel like the second I stopped trying to control and create everything with my own brain and my own whatever, and I started opening myself up to receive ideas and surrendering and listening to guidance and letting like the work come through me.
Yeah.
Like being a channel and a vessel for the work.
Yes.
It's like sometimes I don't even want to do the things I'm doing, but I feel like I am being asked to do them. And so I'm surrendering and submitting, like you're saying, to them. And it actually makes it easier, I think, because we don't have to work so hard and try so hard because there is whatever you want to call it, God, like we're using the word God, right? Which I still like feel like I'm getting used to saying again because of growing up Catholic and there's like so much there. Heaviness, let's say. But I do feel like I am co-creating with God, universe, whatever this energy is. And it is very masculine. It's not like I'm the creator, like I'm the creatrix.
You're the feminine of it.
Exactly. Yes. And I'm receiving the ideas and I'm being a vessel and I am being obedient, let's say. So I can see the like marriage thing. I think about it in my relationship with Kurt. Like he is like very much like, this is what we're doing. And I'm like, okay, yes. And sometimes I want to rebel and be like, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, you know, and I feel like that's how life is. If we don't fucking surrender to our soul assignment, life fucking bitch slaps us. And it's like, oh yeah, you don't want to go there? You know, and I, okay, just a little segue. I feel like what you shared with me earlier of like the, so, okay, let's just back up for a second. With the fact that I just witnessed a terrorist attack, okay? Like, I haven't shared this on my podcast, so we're going to just talk about it here. Being a eyewitness of a terrorist attack, why was I there? Why was I the one that felt called to call 911? Why did I feel called to share all the photos with the police? Why did the detectives and the FBI and the police call me? And then get asked to be on the news? Like, why? Right? And I felt like there was part of me that was like, okay, I'll do all these things. But then there was a whole other side that was like, oh shit, like, I don't know if I really want to be like wrapped up in this. Like, this is like the political scene and like terrorism. Who the fuck am I to talk about this? You know? And then when you're like every single person has been like, there's a reason. Well, my very tapped in friends and clients have been like, there's a reason why you were one of the first eyewitnesses on the scene and you called in. And I'm like, fuck.
And it could be like, are we going?
Oh yeah, we're going.
We're going.
We're in it. We're going there. Just go there. Give it to me, baby.
It could be because, and this is the thing about like when we allow our assignment to be embraced and guided by God
Mm-hmm.
is I truly believe that it's outside of our ego of why that's happening for us
I
and
have
through us.
goosebumps.
And so it's like your mind, right? It's
Yeah.
conceiving. And that's why you're also like, I don't know. It could be this. It could be this.
Yeah.
God's plan will always be greater than what you can conceive.
Right. That to me is so beautiful. Like we can't even actually comprehend.
Right.
Which
and
is like
the gift of being provided for by him.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the femininity.
Do you feel like there is an actual shift going on right now in the like world of visionaries, leaders, trailblazers, where we are being asked to like basically abandon everything we've done or known, and we're like completely in a new paradigm? Like I feel like after the what is it called? Spring equinox? Is it the equinox?
Yeah.
Whatever, March, whatever.
Yes.
When that happens, I was like, oh my God, fuck. Like everything has to change. That's when I started TikTok. And I swear that's when things started kind of making more sense to me in a way.
Totally. I completely agree with you. I mean, I moved here.
Right.
I moved here in March. So yeah, my entire life has shapeshifted drastically.
Oh my God.
And since I would say like a little bit before spring equinox, but like definitely I believe that there's absolutely a shift. And I think when we're plugging into that, like more people are plugging into that, and then we just collectively feel that on a different wavelength.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's necessarily like, I mean, yeah, I believe in astrological currents. I mean, I'm living in Denver because of where my astrology is placed.
Yes.
But I also believe that there's a reason that many of us are feeling the shift and what we're here to do in the collaboration or in the, what we're leaving behind and what we're stepping into.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think someone, I can't remember who it was, or else I'd give them credit, but there was somebody who was like, this year, specifically 2025, is the year that everything that is no longer in your highest timeline or like your biggest alignment is falling away.
I love it.
And it's going to feel scary, and it's going to feel like unnerving, and it's going to feel like, what the fuck? But like, you have to trust that like there needs to be a collapse for there to be a rebuilding.
Yes.
And
what are you collapsing?
I haven't talked about this on the podcast yet either. Well, you know, I started a company last year called Voice and Visibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we are a done for you agency.
Yeah.
And about 9 months in, pretty much however long it takes for you to give life, right? To create life. 9 months in, I was like, I don't want to do a done for you agency.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been more stressed out in my whole life. Like, and I don't believe that we need to be stressed the fuck out in order to live our true assignment here. Like, I just don't think it has to be like that. There's moments of stress, but I was consistently in a stressed out, like fried nervous system state. I was anxious all the time. I was just, it was so anxiety provoking. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like, what the fuck? So we're shifting. We're like, pretty much this month is the last month of any done for you. We're shifting from an agency model, which if you've ever been involved in an agency, worked with an agency, it is, I think, the hardest business model ever. Like, it is, I think, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I very quickly realized, like, I can't do this. Like, I'm not cut out for this. Like, I don't want to do this. And what I realized I loved is being a consultant and helping people through advising and consultancy.
Yes.
And so we've shifted the whole model of Voice and Visibility to consulting, podcast growth, PR, like that, where I'm giving them the ABC and I'm either helping them hire the right people or I'm giving them recommendations, but we're not doing the execution or the podcast editing anymore. And so we just created courses. Like, we're going to have a certification for virtual assistants and online business managers to be trained in the Voice and Visibility framework to edit and produce and repurpose a show.
Yes.
And then also for people, like a course to start and launch your show. And I'm like, that's so much better actually for the creator, because it's also like more accessible. I can help more people. I want to help launch 1,000 shows by 2030.
Love it.
I can't do that if I am doing done for you. I can only take on 10 clients every year, like realistically. And that would take me like 10 years to get to that point.
I was going to say, even in what you were sharing and like what you're collapsing and what you're calling in, I feel a different level of vitality. I feel a different level of like momentum in what you're expressing. And so, it's more aligned with the vision. Yeah.
And you said the word alive. That my team made that reflection. They're like, you get lit up consulting. You get
Yep.
lit up
Yep.
advising.
Yep.
You get lit up doing creative direction.
Ugh.
You get so stressed out when you are, I'm like, I know. And I think it made me sad because I had to change my team again. And it's like, fuck. But I think when you are evolving quickly, you get clarity through action.
Yeah.
You know, like so that's what I'm leaving behind, I would say. And I think a version of me that was self-sacrificing. I think I built that business from a place of self-sacrifice of I'm going to make other people's lives easier instead of making my life and my vision bigger.
Yes.
And that is not the vibe.
No.
It's actually like a really unhealthy place to build a business from. And I think that's why I felt so stressed. I wasn't burnt out. I was just anxious all of the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's always a sign, like when you are perpetually feeling anxious and that uneasy feeling, it's like, that's not how life is supposed to feel. And I think we are supposed to, especially as women, we are supposed to feel alive, you know, and lit up. And I've been in a place where I was depressed and suicidal in my 9 to 5, you know, so I don't want to go back there.
Yeah. I love that you touched upon that, honestly, because I really believe that the Codex of the feminine is non-self-sacrifice. I believe in what I see is there is a choice to create sacrifice in exchange for a sacrament. I believe life will ask us to create sacraments. And it's like, okay, so there's something that I am choosing to like release or let go of here because I'm being initiated into this new like opportunity, this new collaboration, this new experience. And so it becomes sacred, right? But it's not from a space of like passivity or like resentment or anxiety or avoidance. Like that is not feminine. Like our blueprint is innately magnetic, beautiful, loving, devotional, powerful. And so if we witness ourselves getting caught in a web or tangled up in all of that, like, you know, sacrifice, I'm doing this and cutting myself short over here, or I'm being like short with these people, or I'm feeling like anxious all the time, I'm not being my best self, like it's not feminine.
No.
And I think that we feel that because it's a way that God is trying to communicate to us, right? Like this is not the aligned timeline I have for you.
Yeah.
And I love that you're following like the arrows and you're following the aliveness and you're following the inspiration. And I would say that's the same thing that's happening to me. I love that you spoke on consulting because I also feel to some degree that's like, I actually just caught myself recently in the past couple of weeks, like literally being like, wait a minute, I don't even feel like I'm a coach or a mentor. I mean, I do feel like I'm a mentor and a minister, but I've been witnessing myself taking on this role of being like, I'm the right hand to visionaries, artists, creatives, leaders, entrepreneurs. I support them in like the blind spots that they miss in their operations and their leadership dynamics and all of the things. I'm like, because that's where I feel lit up. I'm like, take me into corporations. I mean, I think I was telling you this earlier, right? Like I pitched like an idea to this organization I'm a part of that's now running in 10 different states. And it's like, I just went into a coffee meet and like shared my ideas with things that I felt genuinely that organization could grow with. And they were like loving it. They pitched it. And so I'm like, that is what gives me life force. If I can help this corporation expand and it's touching more of these people's lives, I want to be more involved in that way.
Yeah.
And so I'm right there with you.
You just said that word. Not to interrupt you, but that word life force. Like if it's not giving you life force, you have to drop it. I don't have a mastermind anymore, but my last mastermind that I hosted was called the Life Force Mastermind. And the whole idea was that whatever you create needs to be created from life. It needs to give you life force energy. Because I think, unfortunately, so many women come from a place of people pleasing or self-sacrificing or trying to help people. Because that's how I was taught how to do business. Help people, help people, help people. Well, there's a different like energy to help people versus live out your soul mission, which means us being in our highest power. And sometimes that actually feels selfish in a way. I could say the same for us. Like we're sitting here, we're recording this podcast because we love doing this. Right. But because we love doing this, this is also somehow giving somebody a breakthrough or whatever. It's creating something, but it's because we're like genuinely engaged in it and it's creating aliveness and excitement for us. And then part of us is like, oh my God, I can't even believe we can do this. And like, whatever, you know? And that's how it should feel. And I think that if we aren't trained that it can feel as good, then we naturally gravitate towards guilt. And we feel like it can't be this easy. It can't be this fun.
Yeah.
It can't be this good. But the truth is it can. It's not to say that it's not going to come with hardship and challenge. Duh. There's going to be like I think the path of our soul is not easy, but there is a feeling of aliveness that comes with what we're doing. And that's when we know that we're on the right path or the highest path.
And the difficult terrain that one navigates on the path, right, of aliveness is also like, well, you just become super solution or innovative, like forward. You know what I mean? And like, that's where I also see like, this is not up to just me. Is this the design? Is this the blueprint that God wants to come through me? Right. And I also feel that like, in a lot of ways, there's a sense of grace in the path that we're journeying towards. When you find yourself in that state of resistance, or it's like difficult, it's like you get to be really discerning and honest with yourself, radically honest. Like, is it difficult because my ego is trying to drive the wheel here? Or is it difficult because God is initiating me through something? And so really practicing that discernment also, I believe, collapses time to where your vision is trying to go. And I feel because we're both here and people that are listening to both of our podcasts are passionate, they're driven, they're multifaceted, right? Like, and so it's like, I don't believe that many people are here to just like, at least I feel, and you can speak on this for your community as well, but like, I believe that we're here with passion to want to uplift humanity. Yeah. And like create, I mean, at least with my brand, right? Venus Legacy. It's like, okay, like how are we creating a stronger legacy of influence and of miracles and of love and justice and truth and liberation? And so I think a lot of the people that follow my platform, follow my brand, are really invested in that. I think that they like seeing like the sexy men that I date and the wild things that I'm going to do next, like a car accident, like what's going to happen next in her world, you know, like what's going to happen next in this person. I'm sure you're the same way. Like, what is this crazy person going to do right now? She's going to twerk at this event. Like, what is going to happen over here? Right. Like, but it's also like, you know, so it's entertainment. Yes. We're here for the entertainment. I think we should definitely segue into entertainment. Yeah. But I also believe that there's a level of like, when you're here as a woman and as a feminine frequency, that's truly like, I am here to be of service. Mm-hmm. It's like your barometer can truly test where your ego needs to be in check, or where grace is driving the wheel. Yeah. And I think that's super important too, because then you don't feel so much stress. You don't feel so much anxiety because you trust that there's something else holding you and looking out for you on that journey.
Yeah. And you feel like you don't have to hold it on your own.
Exactly. We're not meant to.
No, it's so heavy if you try to try. I think that's the key word. If you feel like you're trying to do anything, that means you're not surrendering and like allowing, right?
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
We are not given these visions and legacies and movements on our heart for us to just do it ourselves.
Totally.
Like, yeah, it's like surrendering to the actual bigness of what we're here to birth. And it's not just us, it's team. Yeah. It's our who we choose as a life partner. That's arguably the most important decision of your life. Totally. I know you know that well. And then also like your relationship with divine, God, spirit, whatever, and how you actually co-create, you know? Yeah. And yeah, I mean, it's, I think it gets to be a lot more fun when we stop taking it so seriously and make ourselves so much more important than we actually are, to be like, oh my God, I have to carry this heavy burden. It's so heavy and it's so serious. It's like, well, like, sure, we're all like uplifting humanity, but also like we can fuck around. Yeah. And in fact, that's joy is the way.
It's part of it. And there's opportunity everywhere when you're looking through joy.
Right.
When joy is your perspective, you find opportunity everywhere. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just in this state where you're like, okay, well, I have to, you start to sacrifice.
Yes, I was going to say. Yeah. You go immediately to, oh, this is so heavy to help people. So sacrifice. Right. I've actually just been witnessing, and then we can segue to entertainment because I would love to, but I've been witnessing the amount of people that build businesses out of self-sacrifice and how you can feel it. You can feel it in their pricing. You can feel it in their offer. You can feel it in the way that they show up. I
real about it.
Yeah, I see it, and I'm like,
I see it too.
I'm like, that's not going to last long. It can't last long.
It's not sustainable.
No, it's
not sustainable.
The only thing that's sustainable is fun.
Fun, joy, and God.
Yeah. Love that. You need a shirt.
Fun, joy, and God.
Yeah, fun, joy, God.
That's all that's
It's
sustainable.
like you need like a bumper
I
sticker.
completely agree with that, though. I mean, and you can turn like dark or heavier moments into fun, but I see that too. There's things I've looked at very clearly, and I don't want to sit there and like kind of judge things. I'm perceiving and observing things in the industry and like the industries that we've come from. And like maybe I can't speak fully on the industries that we're going towards. And I think we're going to talk about that soon, which is exciting. We'll segue into that. But that's one thing I've witnessed too, where I'm just like, wait a minute, like, why is, and I was just talking to a client about this. I was like, it's very easy to see where like your will can create a lot of sacrifice. And then you can try to manipulate it and construct it and turn it around to make it look however you want it to look. But you're going to be the one looking at your eyes in the mirror, being real with yourself of, is this costing me more than it's gaining for me?
Yeah.
And you can personal development and shapeshift yourself all day long with love and light language and positivity.
Yeah.
But like, if we're getting very real as people that have actually navigated suicidal thoughts and depression, you can't beat the enemy in that way.
Yeah.
And so that the mental warfare that will actually go on underneath all of that, like, has to be actually guided appropriately. And I do believe that when it's always up to your will, you can see where things are being sacrificed. And I do not think that that is sustainable. No. It's not sustainable. No. It will come and bite you in the ass one way or another.
I witness it for sure in the industry where, oh, we haven't moved. I was like, wait, what? Wait, that's hilarious. I was like, oh my God, did we just lose power?
Whoa. I actually love, though, every time that it turns off like that, like, lights back on.
We just had a little moment.
It is
there.
Crazy when it does that, because I always wonder, like, what's happening in the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, like, ignition, pay attention.
Yeah. Ooh, okay.
It happens sometimes when we're not moving.
Yeah, I like it. I'm just going to keep dancing now.
Just keep dancing. Keep bringing the joy in.
Yes. But let's segue into entertainment. I feel like it's a good
Is it the moment to segue into entertainment?
Yeah, it was like the curtain opened, you know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, we've both been in the, let's say, personal growth coaching industry for however many years, right? Yeah. And I think we're both feeling like that's felt really small for a long time, you know?
It's so not us.
No.
Look at where we started.
Okay, but you want to know what's fucking crazy? Let's talk about fun, okay? It wasn't until last year, okay? Last year that I realized I was fun.
Can't. I can't.
Or entertaining. I didn't know that. I had no clue that that's how people saw me or that's what people thought. Yeah. And I never owned those two parts of my personality, the fun and the entertainer. And so the power of having powerful women and powerful mirrors in your life, right? Where my friends were like, what? You're a Sag. You're hilarious. Blah, blah, blah. You're always shaking your ass somewhere. I'm like, oh my God, like they're right. But I did not see that for myself. Yeah. But the second I heard that and I was like, wait, I actually am entertaining. Yeah. And I have these whole spiels and like bits alone in my car. Like I don't need anyone else to be entertained. Like I entertain myself. I go out and I create the entertainment. I meet the barista. I meet the person. I don't need anyone else, you know? Yeah. But because I'm myself, I didn't even realize it. And then once I reclaimed those two parts of my personality, I swear, I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. I remember pretending to be a weather reporter at the age of like 5. And I would predict the weather every single day for my parents. And I would be right 100% of the time. And they were like, how did you know the weather? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like a psychic, you know, like, and I'm like, what the hell? I've always been that, but I didn't remember. And I feel like I lost those parts of my personality. And
I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah. Why do you think that we lose the parts of us that actually, or don't see or value the parts of ourselves that are naturally magnetic or naturally like forces to be reckoned with? Because I feel like I'm having the same thing happen to me where I'm like, and I had this conversation today with someone, you know, with the opportunity that's been happening for me today that we're not going to talk about right now, but you know about, I had this conversation and I was like, I am a force in this field. Yes. And I've been playing way too small. And I am like, there is nobody that's more sourced or connected in this industry. Like, what am I doing? Yeah. I have been playing too small, not savage enough. Like, And so what is that? Why do we hide? What is that? Is it because we're meant to like reclaim them and like feel a different ignition of their power, go on the journey of humility? Like what is that?
Well, I just know for me personally, I thought that the more I achieved, the more loved I would become. It's as simple as that. I didn't like, I had this thing channeled to me maybe a year ago. It was like, I want to be known for who I am, not what I do. And I realized that's the difference between the masculine and the feminine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not here to be recognized for what I do.
Yes.
Cool. People can think I'm a total badass and I do all this cool shit. And I do. Yeah, I do. But I don't want to be known for that. When I die, I want to be known for who I was and how I made people feel. Not what I actually did. Who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? That's why I like don't really ever talk about how much money I make or how much money I've made, because it's not how I want to be remembered.
Yeah.
I'm like, the people on the internet, like, that are always talking about that, and it's just perpetual nonstop.
Yeah.
It's, you know, of course, like, celebrate yourself.
Yes.
But I don't feel like I literally don't ever want to talk about it again, because I don't give a shit.
Yes.
I literally don't give a shit. Nobody needs to know how much money I've made or make. I don't care.
I value that.
It felt
a lot.
so flashy and showy, and that's not who I am. Like, I really just am not. I want to be a force, and I want to lead with my magnetism and charisma. And that's actually my key gate in human design. Like, that's my gift is magnetic charisma.
I love it.
And I don't even like, so I think that I was working against my natural blueprint in design and even just who I am by trying to achieve.
I love that because it is so innately feminine and it's so real. It is so real. And I believe that is actual feminine leadership and feminine legacy. I wouldn't even say business. I'd say leadership and legacy that we are moving into. Because I would say I would agree with you 100%. I don't know why because I feel like I went on that journey like in 2023. I know I went through like, you know, I made like a good amount of money, like a year's salary, like in the first 5 months of the year. And so I took 7 months just to like work on healing my nervous system. And that was like the second time I had the realization when I was like, oh, I'm not here to just be a mechanism of production. I need to also recognize that I need to like learn how to balance other things in my life and like hold things and like work on myself and like maintain a relationship and the relationship that starts with me. And, you know, and when I first built my business, I had the whole thing where it was like, you know, I was seeing people as dollar signs over heartbeats and like lost my integrity, burned my whole business down to the ground. So I went through journeys of that. But it wasn't until like recently, and I appreciate what you're expressing because I feel like since last year and really heavily this year, I've been in this space where it's like the feminine is meant to be provided for because she is always providing.
Yes.
And it does not matter about money. I mean, even the opportunity that I went in today, they were asking me about my money goals. They were asking me about where I wanted things. And I was like, I mean, I have those goals, but like, I just feel like I've been provided for in so many miraculous ways. Opportunity, collaboration, like invitations, networking, like my ideas going here, they shape-shifting this industry, they supporting this person. Like, it's like, isn't that what we're stepping into? It's a different level of legacy and leadership that is beyond business. It's beyond just money. It's beyond this thing that humans have created. And it's not to say that's not a value, because it's supporting art, it's supporting vision, but it's just not, I agree with you. When it's a thing that's constantly hammered and highlighted, you're almost like, I almost feel like it's losing its purpose.
It's coming from lack, actually, I think, when we are like, okay, so for context, when I started my business, I was a fitness and nutrition coach, and I was teaching people how to get strong and get healthy. I had so little awareness of money. Like, I had no savings. I didn't even have a credit card. Like, I didn't have anything, right?
Love it.
But all I did was follow.
Had a dream.
Yeah, literally, I had a dream and I fucking followed it like a crazy person.
Seriously.
And I never tracked my money. I never looked at my bank account. I never looked at shit, okay? But somehow I was always provided for. I always figured it out. My rent was always paid. I always had groceries. Like, everything always came to me. I was just really in flow with life, and I feel like I was surrendering to the mission at the time. Then enter money mindset and me finding my first business coach on the internet and realizing how much money people were making. At the time, I think I was making like $8,000 to $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
And people in this group that I joined were making $80,000 to $100,000 a month. And of course, because we're human, we're like, oh my God, more.
Yeah.
And that is the moment I remember it so crystal clear. That was the moment I really was like on pursuit of something that wasn't actually the path for me. And then I spent from 2020 to the end of 2023, early 2024, chasing money.
Yep.
Chasing money.
Yep.
I lost my integrity. I felt like, I mean, I made a lot of money, and I helped a lot of people and I changed a lot of people's lives.
Yeah.
And I know that. And I have so much evidence to support that. But I also felt so shitty the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? And I made a promise to myself. I think it was middle of last year, maybe, or the beginning of 2024. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this shit. I'm so over it. I don't even give a fuck anymore. I'm like, this is creating absolute ruin inside of me, and it feels awful.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to go back to not that I'm not going to think about money, but I want to go back to setting financial goals. Sure, I can have a goal of what's the minimum I want to make a month, just so I can like live my life and sustain my life and like support the mission, right? And how much money do I actually need versus like what's an arbitrary, like
the more,
like
more.
People say they want to make $100,000 a month. I'm like, why? Like, what do you want to buy? What the fuck are you doing? Like,
and it is coming from lack. I believe that they've made money their god.
Right.
And it's coming from lack.
That is exactly.
It's desire. It's an imprisonment of desire.
Yes. And then you completely lose your actual soul essence and your actual soul mission. And so I made a promise to myself, I'm not doing that anymore. And so what I ended up doing is I ended up giving all of my clients a lot more support. I was like, I just feel like I want to give you extra calls or this or that. And I was like, I don't want to do anything for money anymore. And I made a promise to myself, and I made a promise with God. I was like,
love it.
Okay, fine. I was actually in an airplane. And I think when we are
closest to heaven.
Yeah, literally. I was like, oh, there's no noise. I'm like 30,000 feet up. I'm like, okay, I will fucking do my work if you provide for me. And I wrote it down. I had it like channeled to me. And I was like, I'm done. Figure it out, bitch. Like, let's go. And I just stopped worrying or even thinking about it. And I went, in the span of 3 months, I went from being in total lack consciousness, which was so focused on making money my idol and trying to chase more and more and more, to, no, I am in such a state of abundance that I am following my true, like, north. Yeah. And I am listening to the call of my soul. And I'm noticing when my ego wants to come up and protect me and keep me safe and keep me small, and where life is asking me to go.
Yeah.
And I am trusting that I am not going to even think about money. And I made a TikTok on this. And I was like we can talk about TikTok in a second if you want. But I just started TikTok, and I'm like, oh my God, these people need to fucking know. I'm like, look, when you do your mission, money will always show up.
Yes.
Money will always show up.
Yes.
You have to trust that. Like, you have to stop trying to chase money or do things for money. You have to show up for your fucking mission.
Yes.
The money will show up. It always has.
Yes.
It always has. And the second you try to chase money, everything is repelled.
I know.
Because you're coming from lack.
Right. And because it's not in this state of like the providership. My theme for, this month is all on receivership. And it's like very much around like how much can be received, how much, because it's my birthday month. So I'm like, okay, receive.
Yes. It's your B-day's coming up so soon.
I know. But it's very much around like, that is not just like, oh, it's feminine, right? And I'm being feminine. I'm opening myself and being receptive. It's like, I am here to follow the heartbeat and the pulse that God is asking me to serve.
Yes.
And when I am following that, there is a never-ending ability for that to be supported.
Right.
And that's where the miraculous doors and the miraculous timelines and the miraculous collaborations happen.
Look at us.
I know.
Look at us right here.
I know.
I didn't even know you a month ago, and I feel like I've known you for my whole life. I'm like, truly like.
And it's also why we're magnetized to each other, because we're on the same pulse of this vibration. We're on the same pulse of this message. You know what I mean?
Did you go through a phase, maybe with women, maybe with men too, but I went through a whole phase with women where I felt like I couldn't collaborate with anyone because it was very transactional and very manipulative. And so I had to close down, and I couldn't do a single collaboration, a single partnership. I felt like I couldn't trust anyone because I thought that they would just want my money, or they would want to use me. And so I couldn't trust women.
Yeah.
And which sucks, because obviously I did so much work on my relationship with this feminine.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I fucking hate this. All I want to do is collab. All I want to
Yeah.
do is do shit with people. I don't want to live my life solo. I don't want to be this lone ranger who's trying to forge some path alone.
Totally.
Like, that
Totally.
sucks. This is so much better.
Totally. Yeah, I didn't have anything like that, and I have deep compassion that you experienced that. And I'm glad that you feel like an openness around like collaborating again,
Yes,
because
I do now.
you've come into your truth around that.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything like that, but I had that with spiritual new age. I had a lot of closing myself down to spiritual new age because I felt like there was a lot of distortion and
When you
manipulation.
say that, when you say like spiritual new age, can you like elaborate?
So I come from a background of like shamanism, priestesshood, like goddess circles, goddess work. I owned an entire Chinese herbalism acupuncturist health business before I had Venus
Oh, I
Legacy.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it was like we worked anywhere from 20-person events to 50,000-person festivals. And so we had a healthy social media platform. We created a beautiful like business on the East Coast and the West Coast. So I was living in between both coasts for an entire year, traveling every 4 to 6 months, like building this. And the whole thing was always, I started it with my friend who I met in theater school.
Oh,
and so he and
cool.
I went on this incredible journey together of like theater and spirituality and consciousness. And then we're like, let's just create a business. But it was never meant to be transactional. It was always meant to be an experience for people. Funny story with where I live here. I haven't had this business for like 8 years. And this woman recognized me here that lives in this building. I swear to God.
From that business?
She recognized me from the business. She's like, I came into one of your booths at the festivals and I'll never forget that booth because it was like I walked into a portal. And she was like, and she literally said this to me, you were a brilliant saleswoman because you never made me feel like I was buying something that was not meant for me or for my heart. Like you listened to me. You were like, and she's like, and still to this day, I think about that product every day. It's like we always prided ourselves in like, this is an experience. This is not a transactional relationship, you know? And we heard mystical and magical stories about everything that would happen in that space. And so, yeah, I feel like I segued, but what were we just talking about?
The new age, like new age stuff. Yeah,
so I come from all of that, right?
Yeah.
But when I started opening up, and I think that there's ways that God has had to refine me and my perspective and not create judgment or separation in it. But I do think there's a lot of distortion in like the shamanic realm, in the spiritual realm, in the plant medicines.
The majority of like, oh God, I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but I feel like the whole like, the majority of like the spiritual population, there's so much like gaslighting and manipulation.
There is,
and
though. There's a lot of
ego.
And that's like, everywhere. That happens also in people's relationship to God, right?
For sure.
But like for me.
And we all have it too. You know?
And we all have it too. And I'll say that honestly. Like I know there was a refinement of my own process of protection in ways that I was judging. And God refined my perspective to be like, you know, I help a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs. I help a lot of like mystical, oracle, incredible people. But I had to also create discernment around that.
That's a skill.
It is. And I had to step away from it because I felt like there was taking. I felt like there was gaslighting. I felt like there was a lot of ego. I felt like there was a lot of harm, a lot of bondage, a lot of judgment. And so that's where I created a little bit of separation from it. I wouldn't say that I was experiencing things from like women specifically, but I was experiencing things from some of the communities. It kind of felt like, you know, like if you have a different perspective at times, right? Like it can be a little culty.
Isolating.
There was like some ostracization. I was like, oh, this kind of goes against everything that you're speaking about. So I don't feel safe in this dynamic. But I never went into a space of like, I'm going to shut this down. I'm going to be an asshole to you. I was just like, you know what? Like free for us to have our own perspectives. I mean, I value what you're presencing. I'm bringing forward what I presence. Maybe we just have different people we're meant to serve, different, you know, messages we're meant to have. I don't think that our differences mean that we can't create together. But at the same time, like if you're going to hold this kind of animosity or this energy, I don't really want to be a part of that, you know, or this judgment. And I could feel that. So that's where I had to kind of pull myself back a little bit. I don't have that now, but I noticed it a little bit in some of my transition that I was going through as well. And I think that sometimes it's your own process of transitioning. Right.
Well, and I think it created this similar outcome for both of us, which is this having the skill of discernment.
Yes.
Like I actually didn't really have that skill until that whole thing happened.
Ooh, interesting. Cool.
And I was very, very trusting of everyone around me.
Yes.
And I didn't trust myself. Like I
thought boundaries. Boundaries, standards, discernment. Totally.
Yeah. Like I think that when you have a good heart and you're like a good person, you assume everyone else has the same exact intentions. And
Yeah.
then when you realize they don't, you're like, oh, got it.
Yeah.
And so then Kurt, my husband, always says this. He's like, trust but verify.
Yeah.
Like, and I never did the
that. I like
verification.
that.
I always
love
just did
that.
the trust. Yeah, I'm just like trusting everything's
Ooh.
working out. He's like, no, like you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, no, you need to verify too. Like, you need to do your research. And I was like, you're so right.
What a strong masculine
I
force you
know.
got there.
He's
a great leader.
fucking-
Listen to him.
No, he honestly, I have
and
intimidated every
verify.
single man that I have ever been with or ever dated, and he terrifies the fuck out of me to this day. And not in like a, you know, but he intimidates me sometimes,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
like love that, you know?
Yes,
I'm like, oh my
totally.
God, he is not intimidated by me. This is so amazing, you know?
I love that.
No, but he taught me that skill, trust but verify. You
I
know,
love that.
like
I'm
you
gonna
can't
pocket
go
that.
into, yeah, please do. Like
Pocket that.
you can't go into life expecting everyone to be looking out for you. Of course they're not. They're
Yeah.
looking out for themselves, and
Right.
make sure that you have to look out for you. And so I think I did need to go through, it was a very expensive lesson for me to learn, but I think I did have to go through all of that and learn the skill of discernment. And I'm sure I will continue to learn it, but I needed to learn it with stakes that weren't that high.
Yeah.
You know, like whether it's the financial stakes or just the visibility stakes, like the stakes weren't that high. Okay, cool. Money. Okay, cool. But at least it wasn't millions of dollars. At
Yeah.
least it wasn't, you know, being on mainstream media. Like at least I'm learning these things now. And I do think that for those of us who really are being called into bigger positions of leadership and power, we have to learn really fucking shitty lessons very early in our careers,
Yeah.
very fast. And I do feel like you and I are probably in that same boat
Yeah.
of like, you know, when you're called into a higher path and like it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, you learn a lot of lessons really quickly because you probably grew up really quickly. You have to learn a lot of lessons really early and really fast, and it's really hard. And it's really hard. It's really hard. It's really hard. And then it's like it's like you go to the military, you know, you go to the military, you do all this fucking basic training, you do push-ups, you run miles, you do all this shit, and you're in like camp, you know.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've been in camp. It's like I'm in camp to learn the ropes of how to be a person
Yes.
that's leading people, you know. Like I had
Yeah.
to lead myself. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself. And I didn't have a really important skill.
Right.
You can't lead people if you don't have discernment.
Right.
I really didn't have that skill, or it was maybe like 10% developed.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that that's kind of like my discernment also like edged on my boundaries, right? Because it was like I had to really learn deeply around boundaries, and like that was the only way that I could actually hear like where my discerning barometer really was.
Yeah. How does it feel for you? Like when you know you have to set a boundary, you have to say something or set a standard, like do you feel it viscerally in your body? Like if someone crosses it, or if you feel like you need to set something or say something to somebody?
You know, the thing that I am most passionate about in the world is relationships and relationship hygiene and coherence. I mean, even the conversation I had today, like, you know, in this experience that I'm navigating, and this man was just like, I just want to make sure that like with whatever business investment we go through, that like our relationship is going to be prioritized. And I truly felt in like the fire of my soul that I was just like, that is something that I will never sacrifice. Relationships, I believe, are the root of all suffering in this planet because yes, we don't know how to discern or speak to ourselves, but then we also don't know how to be there in a state of vulnerability or ferocity and trust with others. And so for me, you know, I'll feel a visceral experience of like, ooh, that doesn't feel good. I'll experience like a trigger or a charge around something, but I always try to sit with that because I want to be able to massage the conversation out. I want to be able to have a conversation with someone where it's just like, you know, drop the defenses, right? Like I will take 100%. I take 100% accountability in every single freaking thing that I navigate because there's always something for me to refine and grow through.
Do you feel like you ever take too much responsibility or accountability?
No.
I think I
used to.
Yeah, I definitely did that.
I think I used to.
Responsibility.
Yeah. Boundaries took me right. I used to be a huge people pleaser and caretaker and like did not have boundaries. Now the accountability is like, okay, I allowed like even the relationship I just ended. It's like, okay, well, I allowed this person to live with me for too long. I'm taking 100% accountability for that, but I am not taking accountability for what happened in the dynamic of our relationship in that living too long. And so I think like, there's like a process of discerning there. But I think for me, I feel it viscerally. But for me, I'm like, I want to be able to get to your experience is valid, my experience is valid. How do we find a way forward together, or how do we not? And trust that's also the aligned path that we're meant to be on. I'm not trying to force something that you don't want to, like, nobody's trying to, I'm not interested in forcing anything that is not on a higher timeline.
Yeah. Someone said to me once, I'd rather love you from afar than resent you up close.
Yes.
And I feel like that line really helped me make peace with people in my life that I just couldn't be up close with. Like, I didn't, I'm like, no, it's actually okay that we're going on different paths and different journeys. I don't want to like harbor resentment or whatever. Just like, you show over there, I show over here, we're good. Like, we don't need to be like, everyone's walking together all the time. You know, like, it's just cool. Like, but I think for a while, especially growing up, I think we all want to fit in, belong, and be like, we want everyone to love us and be friends with us. And now I'm like, I think I'm really starting to make peace with the fact that there are people that don't like me, and I'm sure you feel the same. And and of course, when you step into, I think, just more power and leadership, that just happens. The spotlight.
Should we segue into the spotlight?
Let's segue, because we're both like, we're like, oh
no, because I was actually going to ask you. I was going to ask you, like, hey, with the spotlight, where do you think that those leadership skills are super important? Because we're both transitioning into a different level of being in the spotlight and a different level of influential leadership and collaboration, and it's something that's always been who we are, that we're like fully claiming now. And why has God crafted and chiseled and designed us to be able to uphold all of this wisdom now to step into the spotlight? Why do you think? Or anything you want to talk about it, go for it.
Well, all that I'll say is that this morning I got a message from one of my advisors who I haven't talked to in a while. She just sent me a message randomly, and she goes, hey, you don't have to read this if you don't want to, but I just had this like channel message, and it was like, it's not my thoughts. I don't even know what you're up to. I haven't even seen anything that's going on, but this is what was coming through for you. And I was like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna listen.
Wow.
And it was literally, this is what she said. She goes, you're playing small. That was the first sentence. I'm like, oh shit. And then I'm like, okay, all right, let's go. Challenge accepted. She's like, you're playing small. You haven't been given, it was something along the lines of like, you haven't been given the spotlight or the stages that, like, the scale of the stages that you need to be on. You need to be on big. And she wrote like all caps, big stages, big things. Everything was just the word big.
Yeah.
Which I've always felt since I was a kid. But is obviously terrifying to admit. And so you shrink, and you don't want to stand out.
Yeah.
So I think I spent the last, few decades shrinking myself. And then at the end, she was like, you might just be called to actually create your own stage. And I think it's time. Love you. And I was like, okay, you fucking drop that bomb at me at 8 a.m. Not even kidding. I just did my Pilates class, and I get this message when I come out. I'm like, but she's right.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling this really deeply. I'll say this on air, but on August 8th, 2026, you're invited, bitch. So you better be there. I'm gonna host my first real big live event.
Amazing.
And it's called,
there.
You want to know the name? Are you ready for it?
I'm so ready for it.
Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this name and the whole entire thing was like, whew, it like kind of just dropped in.
Yep.
Frequency Fest.
Oh my God, I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
So copyright that shit. You guys can't take this because I haven't trademarked it. So
it's okay. You're good. Divinely trusted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So it's going to happen. It's a weekend. So
amazing.
I contacted Red Rocks. Cause I'm like, dude, what if I fucking got Red Rocks to like,
yes. Why not?
And it's going to be a combination of comedy, entertainment, performance, healing, somatics, speaking, everything.
Yes, I love it.
And it's going to be bringing together visionaries, creatives, coaches, like literally all the people that are here to just like make an impact. Like really, that's what it is. And I'm like, I just know, like, I have so many incredible people in my close inner circle that I just want to bring together and just make everyone just blow the fuck up, and get full press, media, get the news. Like, everyone is just there. Yes. And I'm like, nobody's doing this. Like, I'm doing this. I'm fucking doing this. So I know that, like, what it actually really scares me. I have no idea how I'm going to do it. I need to find investors because it's going to be a lot of money to put on an event this big.
Yeah.
Red Rocks can host 9,500 people. That is an insane amount of people. And I don't think my first event is going to be 9,000 people. That's
you never know.
crazy.
You
never know. You never know.
You never know what it could shapeshift into,
For sure.
right? It's like you just put it out there. I just know
that it's not the me. Like, it's not the Sam show. It's about this collective collaboration. I've been to events where there's a head person and it's all about them. But for me, it's not that. It's I'm going to bring together these very specific people who are here for leadership to bring together and make everyone win.
I love it.
And I'm like, I just feel like the ultimate curator. I used to be an exhibition designer.
Shit.
Yes. And then we get merch and it's fucking fun. And I bring in the highest quality food and like everything is about the energy, you know? Because like that's what it's about anyways.
Yes. That's compounding.
Yeah. So I don't know what the fuck you just even asked me, but that's
the
what I've been
feeling. And like why these things have refined us of where they're going. And I love that you just shared that, honestly, because I believe when you're given a vision, which clearly you've been given, it's like it's going to alter itself precisely as God intends it to. And I believe that it always comes out better than we can even envision how it's going to get there, or we don't understand the step that's going to allow us to get there. And so I actually
like
see
the how. We're like,
right.
Our brain
and I see there's going to be so much collaboration and opportunity because the why behind it is for the upliftment of everybody's frequency.
Right. It's not about money. Like that's the thing. When something is about money, like money first.
Yep.
Of course, we love money. It's not like it's a bad thing. It's just when it's the only thing, it's a very hollow goal.
I think it's so valuable that you express that because you have made 7 figures. Yeah. And so the fact that you can say that is so, like, I have to relay presence to you because I have not made 7 figures.
Oh my God, again.
But I think that that's really important, Sam, because it's like you have achieved what some people are striving every day to achieve.
Yeah.
And you also realize that that's not the goal.
Yeah.
And
well,
that's
thank you for the
important. It's important. I respect you so much because of that, because you understand it's about the collaboration. It's about the vision. It's about the femininity. It's about the providership. It's about the ecosystem. You understand. And I believe that's also why we're pulled together, because for me too, like, in the spotlight, right? Or like the visions that I've had. Like, I mean, I want to have a reality show around, and I'm releasing this here.
Yes.
I've also not released this like very publicly.
Let's go. It's happening.
But around a church that I'm creating.
Yes. You are such a fucking, when you said minister, I'm like, that is it.
I'm creating a reality show on a church. This is my vision, right? Yeah, and so it's like on the building of the church and of the holding of the church. And I always said, I'm like, I want this. It will not, I want this to be nonprofit because it's not about anything with money. I believe that the stewardship of the collective holding the safe space for this to happen, where the feminine is guiding this upliftment for relationships and for people on the planet, that is going to be provided for.
Yeah.
And the pull in my heart and my soul and my why, I mean, this is why literally I feel like I'm collapsing time already to certain things with TV or certain things with opportunity that are coming in faster than the goals that I've set.
Yeah.
And I believe that the same thing is going to happen with this frequency fest because of the vision and the why that you uphold around it and the integrity of what you see around. Money is not the avenue, and it is about the vision. Yeah. The vision wants to be provided for. There are so many people. I think that it's just very easy to be artistic and visionary forward. And a lot of people may have the vision, but they don't have the interpersonal dynamics. They don't have the relationship coherence.
Or the ability to execute.
They don't have the skill sets of execution. Absolutely. They don't understand the operations of it. They don't know how to collaborate and not lose complete control and trust other people in that vision.
Yeah.
That is what allows things to actually like manifest into being. And people want to provide for that.
Yeah. That's where I think the coaching industry gets it wrong. I think that that's the only goal is money and fame, like fake fame, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, guys, you're missing the point, which is why, I mean, I told Kurt this, I'm like, dude, I got to get this is not it. You know, I think that a lot of incredible people that are here to make such a big impact are come from that industry. And that's beautiful. It's a great stepping stone. But I think that there is a certain corner of the coaching industry that is getting it so wrong
Yeah.
and are creating so much illusion
Yeah.
of, no, guys, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's never going to feel like enough, because we are insatiable beings of desire.
Yeah.
The second we hit a goal, financial goal, we want more.
Yeah.
And it becomes this pursuit of more that we never feel satisfied. And then we feel hollow, and we associate our worth with our bank account, or our worth with how much money we make. And it's not real.
Yeah.
It's fake.
Well,
and
it's idolatry.
Yeah.
And so therefore it'll always have pain injected into it.
Right. I think the only truly fulfilling path is the one of actually bringing your mission and vision and whatever you want. I don't even know what the word is, but it's like actually bringing a vision to life.
Yes.
And yes, I do believe that money will support that vision coming to life.
Yes.
You know, a very small segment, or a very small example of this is, there's a woman actually located in Boulder. Not anymore, but she birthed this business in Boulder. It's called Trail Sisters. I'm actually going to have her on my show.
Cool.
And it was this idea that she wanted to bring together all varying levels of trail runners and just create meetups. So she's created the first one in Boulder, and then it started to get a lot of traction. And now there may be more than 50 or 100 chapters. Okay. Wow. It's free. You just sign up, you make an account. And now there's like retreats, there's half marathons, there's races, there's merch, there's community. And I met her a few weeks ago because I did one of the runs, and she was talking about how she started it as a passion product. It was just something for fun.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. Keyword fun.
Yep. And
it's now her full-time job. And I was like, and I don't know the business model or the business structure, like how it actually funds her. But all that I know is that it was like, I needed to hear that story as such evidence of like, I'm not going back to the place of money first. It's never, ever, ever it, because I think it distracts you, and it forces you to create things that actually aren't in integrity, or like in your highest whatever path. Yeah. I think sometimes the things that we want, we don't know how they get monetized. I have no fucking clue how the path that I'm taking is going to get air quotes monetized, if that makes sense. Like, I'm like, okay, this show, your show, it's a show. Like, I don't fucking know how am I gonna make money. Like, it's gonna happen eventually, right? Exactly. But okay. And then it's the same with this event. Like, this event seems like it's gonna cost me a shitload of money, and I'm not making anything from it. But it's like, I know that I am here to bring this to life, and I know that somehow it's gonna lead somewhere. Right. And that requires insane levels of trust and surrender, and also like being a little delusional. A little more like a lot, you know, being delusional and like, oh, it's such a like wild road when you do follow that rather than the safe or the, I don't know, logical thing.
Well, it's holy, because again, it's like you've taken money off of the pedestal. So you've reversed the idolatry of it being God, and instead you've made it passion. Yeah. Which I totally get as arrows. Yeah. Yeah. You've made it passion, and you've made it mission. Yeah. And I think where the miraculous capacity comes in on it, and this is where I'm always in check with myself, which is why I also think and believe fully that things accelerate at a faster speed.
About to cry. This is so intense. I feel like you just said the word miraculous, and I'm like, no, that's what it is. Like, that's where miracles happen. It's in that frequency. Like, it is. Not to get like super like meta. It's just like, no, like that's where all of the magic happens.
But I think that we should get that meta because that's real.
Yeah. No, you're
right. And I believe also that, like, I truly believe in my heart and soul that, I mean, I believe that I've experienced so many miracles in my life that, or like bucket list things, or help my clients with, or I mean, just even the friend that I was with who owns this AI company on Saturday, like he's like, I have not experienced this much joy and like aliveness and fun in my life in years. And
that's like, why we love each other so much, because like we're both like
totally. But I'm like, I always try to come into a reality check with myself where I'm like, is this my will or God's will? Is this my mission solely? Or am I like, what is my why behind this mission? Is it in service for what God wants to do through me and bringing more people to peace, to joy, to miracles, to love, to contentment, to trust, to faith, to these, right? Because that is always going to be sourced.
Yeah.
Always.
Yes.
Because it's not coming
That's
from
the
the
word.
space of,
Sourced.
well, I've got to like have this amount of money on my bank account now, and I've got to sell this thing to create that, and I've got to like invite these people in, or I'm going to hold this. It's just so against our nature as women, I feel. And and so I'm just very invested in seeing how our miraculous timelines start to initiate into being and materialize into being, because I feel like they are. And
totally.
yeah.
Totally.
And I think that there's some interesting things that we might be doing together.
I know. I feel that too. Dude, it's oh my God. I feel like I'm yawning because I'm like actually like moving trauma. Like that's what's happening right now. I'm like crying, yawning. I'm like, oh. You know, like
no, totally.
Someone, actually multiple people, when I forget, I spoke somewhere and the feedback was like, it's like you take us to church for money, fame, and power. And I was like,
I love that.
I was like, thank you. I received that. But I feel like you have a very, very similar spell on people, you know, where you are taking people to church in like the relationship with the divine, you know? And I think it's like, that's what people really are craving right now. They're craving guidance. They're craving clarity. They're craving like authenticity, and not just like that word just as a vanilla, like, you know, blanket word, but true, like what's real. Like it feels so real. There is so much BS and like just ick out there, you know, and fallacy and like just fake relationships on the internet and fake this and fake that, and people are craving the truth more than anything. And like one of my main through lines for everything is like the truth frequency. Like truth has a feeling. Truth is felt. And I think when people feel, and I hope that when they listen to this, they're like, holy shit, like this is the truth. Like this is not even us talking. Like we are not even saying these words. You know what I mean? It's like they're coming out of our mouths, but it's not even, we're being sourced. Use that word. Sourced.
We're being sourced.
The information.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of internet personalities, there's a lot of media personalities that also do this in different industries, you know? And I feel like clearly we're being called to do this for leadership and visionaries and entrepreneurs and and like, you know, also have a fuck ton of fun doing it and like be our own, you know, have our own talk shows and TV shows because like we're and it's like we can have multiple things, you know, we can be multiple, or not, we can be multi-passionate.
Yes. I love that we're both moving into this direction of like multimedia.
That's why we met.
Spotlight. It's
That's like
true.
So why we met.
It's so true.
At very unique points in our like inflection points. Someone said that the other day, the word inflection. I was like, it's an inflection point. It's like the point where everything changes. Ooh. You can never go back. It's like the line in the sand moment, but I like the word inflection because it feels like
I just got goosebumps with that. That's so good.
It's gonna like
my nipples just got hard.
Mine did too. Both of our nips are hard. Yeah, my friend like lost her project management job at this company, and she said, she's like, anytime something like this happens where she's like, you know, she owns a home and she's like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay my mortgage. I'm gonna have to like, you know, rent it out or whatever. And she's like, but seemingly I'm not stressed. Like I know that there's a reason, and like she used the words inflection point. And I was like, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Because I feel that too. I'm like, there's something like, it's almost like a turning or a flicking or like there's this like abrupt shift.
Yes.
And I feel that of like, oh, everything's different, you know? And like that can just happen, which is crazy. You know, it feels like it's happening all at once, but it's kind of like the frog boiling in water thing. Where it's like the water is constantly increasing.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's boiling.
Or it's a thing that, you know, you've been like praying for, you've been like asking for, but you don't understand what it fully looks like. And then like, you're like, okay, I'm putting the work in, I'm putting the work in. And then all of a sudden it just pays off. I feel like totally in that space too right now. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And I believe that, you know, we are having this shift, and it's happening at that like acceleration, that point, because of what is destined to come through us, because of the way that we are being sourced right now.
And I would the state of the world, like what the world actually needs.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. And I need to continue to not play small also, because I feel like I've been playing really small. And since I moved to Denver like 3 months ago, I've not been playing small. But, there was certain things I was in, like a relationship, which kind of was holding me back, that I'm grateful that I ended, because there's been a radical acceleration since that relationship ended as well. But yeah, it's like, continuing to hold, I feel, the purpose as to why.
Yeah.
And I think that there's something also too, and not just our vision, but the relationship that we hold with ourselves right now. Like, I know you've gone like on a huge weight loss journey. I've been going on a weight loss journey.
Mm-hmm.
We are going into like recalibration. I mean, this relationship that we both feel like with the divine. I mean, when you said to me, right, like, I love living in the mountains because I feel like I'm closer to God.
Yeah.
And it's like, and like we're like going, like wanting to go to church together. I feel like when I was talking to someone today around this, they're like, yeah, it's just so crazy when people have these addictions. And I was like, I just feel like my addiction is to like bettering my life. I'm like working out, like going and supporting youth
Feeling
tomorrow
as
at my
good as
church.
possible.
Like, I'm like, I just want to keep, it's like, that's what I'm feeding myself.
Yeah.
And so therefore, if I understand, like, if we're feeding ourselves all of that, that holy nourishment, right? And that like supportive, like, I'm trying to be the best version of myself that I can be, to be a clearer channel, to be a pure channel, a pure source, to hear the source more clearly. It's like, what would not want to support that vision?
Yeah, 100%. You just said one of the taglines that I usually will say is clear your channel, change your life. And what I was hearing when you were talking is like, there's a whole entire generation of maybe men too, but I know women for sure, because I know a lot of them, you included, who are here to like actually make an impact through our actual voice. And you talked about weight loss, and I actually see like the majority of excess weight is emotional. And I like studied at the mind body psychology of eating school. Like, I understand like how we process food and emotions and how we hold on. And a lot of our weight is emotional and energetic.
Yes.
And we repress feelings, and then we overeat, or we eat for things other than hunger. And the more that we can process our emotions, the easier it is for us to feel really good in our body. And I do think that our number one job as speakers and truth tellers and visionaries and leaders and blah, 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 is to feel good. Like, it really is. And that could be seen as selfish, but it's not, because we can't actually do our work if we don't feel good. That is literally why I put myself through the crazy things that I do, because I'm like, I know that in order to do my best, I have to feel my best.
Yes.
And that's how women work. We have to feel good in order to do good.
Yes.
For men, they're the opposite. The masculine's like, I need to do good in order to feel good.
Yeah.
But we as women have to feel good in order to do good.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of women get it wrong. They try to do good to feel good, but it's no. We have to feel good to do good. What does that actually look like? I mean, I could fucking riff on this forever, but it's like, okay, I sleep 8 to 10 hours a night.
Yep.
I wake up. The first thing I do is hydrate before I caffeinate. I get vitamin D I try to go outside within like 30 minutes to an hour of waking for
sunlight
my circadian rhythm.
Light.
Yeah. I do not go on social media first thing in the morning. I usually try to get in a walk with Hethy, our dog. And then I just protect my fucking energy. You know what I mean? I like don't consume shit that's not going to uplift me. I listen to a lot of music. I move my body. I work out, or I get outside at least, like, every day I get outside, but I move my body at least 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week.
Yep.
And it's not from a place of like trying to torture myself or trying to lose weight. It's to stay as clear as possible.
Totally.
We can't be powerful if we're not clear.
Totally.
Wow, how the fuck can we actually hear our inner guidance system? We can't.
Yep.
That's what's like, we are talking right now, because
Yes.
So I'm so like, that's why Frequency Fest is going to be a thing, is because I think that the clearer we are like, when we get the gunk out of our bodies, limiting beliefs, old emotions, stucks, trauma, we become these powerful vessels for work.
100%.
We can't do our soul work without being clear.
Yes.
Like, and I've only arrived at the place that I'm at now because I have pushed my body to its physical edge in so many different capacities through competitive powerlifting, competitive dancing, ultra marathoning, Pilates, all this other shit that I'm like, this is so hard, and my body is like, blah, blah, blah. But we move energy that way.
Yes.
Dancing, and it doesn't need to be intense, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it does need to be intense.
Yeah.
Going for a walk's not going to fucking move that much shit. Like, yes, walk. But also, like, sometimes we got to go a little harder than that. And
Yeah.
I really do believe, like, leaning into that discomfort zone in the physical body is going to help you lean into your discomfort zone in leadership and being
Yes.
seen and being in the spotlight. It's like, it's all one and the same.
God, I love everything that you just said around that. Honestly, it was so good.
Thank you.
And you've taken that journey and had the success around it, right? Like, I feel like I'm like in that journey of like radical weight loss right now.
Dude, you want to come to Pilates with me? We can crush.
Yeah, let's
I mean,
do Pilates.
we won't crush. It will crush us.
I'm so here for being crushed. I'm so here for it.
It's painful, but you do feel amazing after.
I'm so here for it. And honestly, like, I feel like I've been able to really experience that, like, just in my time of being here in Colorado. It's like, even last month, like, I put out like a post around this where I was just like, capacity. I feel like all I did was just expand my capacity radically for all the things that like happened. I mean, I was there for my aunt's assisted suicide. I like celebrated my sister's bachelorette. My bathroom flooded, $15,000 worth of damage. I got asked to support like Fempire like 3 weeks before it started, creating like all these different things on top of having a breakup. And I'm like, but I only was able to do all of that because I was also like making my vessel the purest thing that I possibly could, which is what initiated me into I was given so much abundance through all of that, but it was more so like, I can take this, I can take more. And God is initiating me into something. And I feel like that's why I've had such radical giftings since ending the relationship, and like am quantum looping and accelerating and just like, you know, jumping into these new levels of leadership and legacy and belief and embodiment, because I have made myself the testament to what I will do and conquer within my own body and within my own story. And it's like, you don't question then ever playing small again, because you believe that you are here. It's not even just big or small. You're just in a space of confidence. You're in a space in a different level of embodied confidence. And it's not even something you have to like try to be.
No, you just
it's
exist.
Organic. Exactly. You just exist because you're willing to do the hard fucking thing to grow.
Most people aren't.
Yeah.
This is the truth. Most people are stuck in a state of avoidance because we aren't actually taught how to do this.
Right.
There's no blueprint.
Right.
And it's kind of like you fuck it up until you figure it out. You know?
It's true. Yeah. I think when you hit levels of like depression and suicide, you're kind of like, okay, I've got to do something.
Yeah. Am I going to end my life, or am I going to change my life?
Yeah.
It's just pick one.
Yes.
And you fortunately chose I'm going to change my life.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think you do have to hit, I mean, maybe you don't, but I feel like I've never made a single change in my life without hitting some sort of like a rock bottom moment. It could be a minor rock bottom. It could be a really big one. But I think that we often don't change, so we have to, because it's fucking hard.
Yeah, and I think the difference is, are you giving your drama of the emotional attachment to the rock bottom, right? Because I think that's the big thing. It's like, I think everybody goes through like massive difficulty, right? I mean, like Tantra it's like the pain in the like pleasure and the pleasure in the pain, right? It's like they're almost the same thing.
Yeah.
And so to some degree, like, you're going to hit rock bottom. You have to fail in order to grow and be exceptional. Like, there's so much you have to do in order to allow yourself to like have a tolerance to the discomfort. But it's also like, are you attaching to the emotional like detriment of that?
Right.
Because that's where I feel it gets a bad stigmatism or name for itself. Like,
yeah, and I think just it's our ego. It goes back to our ego. Like, we avoid failure, so then we push away success.
Yeah.
Like, you actually can't succeed without fucking failing a bajillion times. You've seen the graph. It's like success, and then it's like what you think it's going to look like, and then it's just like complete shit show. And it's like, but that's the truth. It's just no one wants to be in the shit show, you know? Because we all like just want to be successful and want to be in the spotlight and want to have everything we want without like going through the trials and tribulations that are going to prepare us to actually hold that.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about capacity.
And then it's like, are we going to actually appreciate the things that we get? Like, are you going to take a moment to pause and appreciate, or just be like, oh, what's in lack right now again?
Right. I mean, like, if you just like won the lottery and get all this money, it's like, okay, cool. You know, like, we appreciate the things that we've put in effort for and that we've air quotes earned, you know, like, we do take stuff for granted when we don't have any, you know, like, edge in the game. Like,
totally.
It's just part of what it is. So I think that, you know, maybe to wrap it up, it's almost like we have to, I mean, get to really, but it's like all of that stuff that we go through, the pain, it is pleasurable. It's the best type of pain, because we are actively choosing it, because we know that we just keep going.
Yeah.
It will add up.
Yeah.
And I think it's trusting that. It's like you go to the gym, you don't see progress, air quotes, for 8 to 12 weeks usually, but then you start seeing it and you're trusting. But you have to trust that when you plant seeds, they're going to sprout.
Right.
You know? And when we are doing all these things, it's like we have to trust that every single action, every conversation, every collaboration, it is all adding up.
Right.
It's just not as fast as we want, because our soul is like, you know, moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and our human is like, why is it taking so long?
Yeah. And the appreciation of that, it's like just remembering, right? The why, or it's like, this is a devotion. Life is a devotion.
Right. We get to do this work till we die.
Yeah.
On this planet.
And therefore it's like, there's nothing to strive to. It's just every single moment is the gift. Like, that's why for me too, and to wrap this up as well, is it's just like, just continue to remember that, like, if you're doing everything, like, yes, for yourself, but above all else for like everyone around you, as far as like the overall mission or the journey or the adventure that you want to take, and you understand the why behind that. And in my opinion, if you do it for God, if you really do it for God, it's like everything around that will benefit. Everything. Because there's no disconnection, ego, or impurity in that.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's like you appreciate the act of devotion that you're giving every moment. And then you're not always constantly just trying to get to the next with like depreciating the present.
Right. If you actually truly enjoy the process and you're having fun in the process, that's really, again, fun is the only sustainable thing.
Totally.
It really is. Like,
Inject
maybe
your
that's
life
the
with
Enneagram
fun.
7, maybe that's the Sagittarius in me. I don't know, but I just don't know anyone that is truly fulfilled if they're not having fun, and they're not making what they're doing fun.
Totally.
There's
I completely
ways to
agree.
make things more fun.
Yeah.
That are hard.
Yes. I completely agree
like
with
this.
that. Yeah. You know? This was fun.
I know. This was fun.
I loved our conversation.
I know. I'm excited to see how quickly I'm excited to see how quickly you come back on my show and I come back on yours. Yes. And then to see in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year where we are.
Oh my God. I'm excited to see where we are in a month.
Yeah, I know. Tomorrow. Feels tomorrow. Like, one day is like a million years. So.
No, I love it. This was really beautiful. I loved our dynamic. I loved being able to share all of this. It was a gift. So thank you.
It was a gift. You're a gift.
You're a gift.
No, you're a gift.
We're gifts.
Okay.
All right.
This is great. Love you.
Thanks for being here, guys.
Yes.
Love you. Thanks for checking our little conversation and being a part of it.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Bye.
Toodles.
Huge.